recognize and appreciate that, that there are elements of the IT budget that are going to be, kind of the cost of doing business, and computer replacement might be one of them. I probably would say that those are more ongoing than, say, a large server replacement or something along those lines. But I think at some point, we're going to need to just kind of talk about just sort of philosophically where we are on what constitutes a one-time expenditure.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think we should have that conversation. I myself am a little more lax on what that is. Being around for a long time, I know that there are certain things that you can choose not to do the year when things are tight. Back in the day, it was cars, for example, that just didn't have the money. You just didn't spend it. It was not something that had to be done, but we were choosing to do when we could. When I'm looking at the budget for my own personal wishes and desires, I like to keep into mind what things I can decide not to do next year if there is some type of collapse or downfall in our economy. That's the way I look at it for one-time expenditures personally, but we'll have that talk in the future and how best to do it, because it would be nice for future years just to have it all drawn out that that's what this is and that's what this is not.
Right. And I mean, the upfit costs really aren't a good, I mean, they are one time, I guess, right now, but we do have to do those next year. We can't have, naked police cars running around. And so,
well, again, that's the kind of choices that we made to get those cars and to do it. But in my opinion, those are one-time expenditure. We can choose not to bring in new vehicles in the future and stuff like that for a while. We could put it off for a year or 2 years. And so that's just my opinion, though. We have to look at what all the commission needs and desires.
Okay, so any more discussion on that right now before we move on? Okay.
Sure. Anything? Nope. We're ready to go.
Okay, so so the utilities funds for the ARPA. So I'll go ahead and add in what was talked about this morning from them, the 200,000 in Russellwood. So they have 199,800. I'll just change it to the flat 200,000 if you're okay with that, commissioners.
Yep.
In Beards Cove, they have 100,000 for the AC main line, and they had an odd amount budgeted there too, and I didn't write it down. It was just give me a second here. $110,888. So I'll change that to the flat 100,000 if you're okay with that, commissioners.
Any issue, commissioners?
Or should we go 111,000?
Well, the request is for 100 for the AC mainline replacement in Beards Cove.
Gotcha.
So I want to make sure it matches whatever we're.
Yeah. I'd rather go with their numbers.
Right.
So
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, and then Belfair has nothing budgeted for ARPA, so I'll include the 230,000. It looks like. I mean, I'm sorry, 330,000.
Good with me.
Okay.
Yep.
So with that, I mean, that's all that I have for you. If there's anything else, if you want to go through anything else at this time, and we're getting down to the wire. Oh, I do have actually one more update that I need to make you aware of. I don't remember if I've talked about it in the past, but some of the bars lines are changing, so I'll be bringing that forward. Our beginning and ending fund balances in the state auditor's office, the bars manual, have changed. So I'll make sure to incorporate those changes. And then some of the utility funds, some of their bars have changed. So I'll be bringing that forward. It's, no real impact, but it just might look different than what you have seen in the past.
And just looking through some of the PLR and the increases, the PLRs and the increases, uh, some of this could absolutely be due to COVID. I came up with about 313, a little over 313,000. So let's, if we don't mind, let's take a look at those to see if we can, they could be one-time fees just due to backlog and due to increased postage and things like that. So, I mean, your analysis fee, 77,000, and that was an increase due to backlogs. So I'm wondering, will that go down? And then we have the new laws. I mean, God, there's so many unknowns that we might be doing amendments for next year.
Yeah, so on your analysis, and thank you for bringing that up. I forgot to do that. So yeah, you came up with 313,000. So so do we want to look at that now? Do you want to sit down with our ARPA group and go over these things and then bring it back next week?
Yeah, you know, it might be smart to bring it to our ARPA group also, because there's a lot of big brains in that room. And so this way we could make sure that they either fit or they don't. I'll be in Spokane.
Oh, okay.
But you guys feel free to to take a look.
Okay, and then if they do fit under ARPA, I mean, what do you want to do with that, commissioners? Do you want to remove it from the general fund and then include it in the Fund 155, the ARPA fund? How would you like to move forward with that? Or just identify it as a possible one-time cost in the budget that might be paid for out of ARPA next year?
Right, and then maybe just reimburse.
We could do reimbursing, or we could do coding corrections. I prefer to do, or not coding corrections, but budget corrections. I prefer, if it's not salaries and benefits, to pay for it directly out of ARPA. That way it keeps it clean and consistent.
Right. And I didn't see any salary benefits other than the judge pro tem. Yeah, most of it was supplies, postage, Zoom accounts.
So at this point, I mean, I would just recommend that we identify this as you have, and then just kind of earmark it for next year as under the one-time costs. Does that sound good?
I'm good with that.
I'm comfortable. Commissioner Schutte?
I'd like to see the list.
Okay, I will. Do you want to look at it now?
Whatever works, I guess. I just, you know, the one thing that I would say about doing it this way is, you know, kind of going back to the pro tem conversation, is understanding what the actual is, what we know we pay on a, you know, regular basis, and then I would support using ARPA to fund the difference if it's an overage due to COVID. But I really wouldn't be comfortable with wiping out the full budget line for a year. Wouldn't want to spend that money twice. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And what I did is I took the difference between last year, or was 2019, 2020, and then did the difference, and then 2021. So that's how I just put in the different amount.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, so you just send me the list, and I guess if the ARPA group has a conversation about it, then we can, you know, revisit that on Monday and tie it up.
Okay, I'll email this to you, commissioners. Okay, is there anything else that you want to go over on the budget?
Commissioners, any questions, comments, or other issues you'd like to discuss regarding the budget?
Quite the adventure.
Well, then Jennifer, I want to thank you very much for all your hard work again. You are definitely a pleasure to work with. The numbers are very readable when you're done, and that helps all of us.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the comment.
Just to be clear, I completely second what Commissioner Netherland just said, but are we closing the lid on other outstanding PLR requests and just looking at what has already been, I guess?
For me, I know I still have some I'd like to look at, and one of them, I don't know that we ever completely moved it over, was the clerk in the sheriff's office. What did we do with that, Jennifer?
So that is still sitting in this $1.7 million 20 FTE requests PLR.
Because I know I still keep that in my back pocket, thinking it's necessary and needed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with there being a need. I think we're, in my opinion, I think we're at the limit of what we can add this year. But certainly appreciate the need.
Well, and are we making that decision right now? If so, then Commissioner Trask needs you to weigh in.
It looks like there's a lot of open PLRs. I think what I'd like to do is go through it, study it a little bit more before committing one way or the other.
Nothing wrong with that, Commissioner. I'm good with that too. So we'll go over it again one more time and make that decision at the next point. I'm comfortable. Commissioner Schutte, you were shaking your head. You're comfortable too?
Sure.
Hold on off. Okay, that's what we're going to do.
Okay, so we'll hold off and go over those next time.
Yeah, I think she wanted to look at the list as a whole and then revisit it the next time. That's what I understood you saying, Commissioner Trask.
Yeah, I'll have a few moments in Spokane where I can just sit and concentrate.
So I think that's what we're going to do.
Okay, great. Anything else?
Nope, I think that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Commissioner discussion, do we have any?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I got one item. Last week, I was contacted by Aubrey Fudge and Claire Robbins from the Shelton Y. They were interested in extending some day passes to county staff, and trying to just, I guess, for the holiday season. And so wanted to kind of run that by you and see if we were interested in having Mark maybe run down the details a little bit more. And
yeah, I think that's a proper way to do it. Let's let Mark run down the details. If it's free and it's a gift, not a gift, I gotta be careful with that. If it's free and it's a benefit that's allowed to all the county members, I think we should allow them to take advantage of it.
Yeah, they're doing a similar program with the city, and they wanted to extend it to us as well. So Mark, you and I can chat and I can get you the contact information. Great.
Anything else?
Just one, since I will be in a Timber Counties meeting on Thursday, would one of you like to do the EOC meeting?
I will, well, unless you want to do it, Commissioner Schutte, you want to do it?
Sure, I can do it.
Great, thank you.
All right, if I hear nothing further, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Oh, second.
All right, here, no objection. We are adjourned. See you all for Board of Health, I think is what we have next together. Bye, everybody.
Yeah.
Clam chowder.